Hello, and welcome to episode number 1 in this new series, Scuttlebutt, which for the uninitiated is naval slang for gossip and chat around a water cooler, which is what they call the water cooler in the Navy, the Scuttlebutt. Anyway, YouTube, big bugbear of mine, especially recently. They seem to be driving creators off the channel. I don't know if they're trying to run it down or what, but there's definitely something going weird with YouTube. Let's start with advertising. YouTube used to do adverts at the beginning or the end or both, and sometimes in the middle of longer videos. But just recently, I've been noticing, especially on older videos, YouTube are throwing up adverts, and it's the same, they're not changing, it's the same adverts they've been throwing up every 3 minutes. It's destroying the content on YouTube. It's just, this is why in the UK we have regulations about advertising on television, but YouTube seems to be just after advertising revenue. Yes, I can understand you need advertising to fund the channel. I understand that. I'm all in favour of advertising, but do it more like a commercial station in the UK where you're limited to like 12 minutes an hour of adverts. Give content creators that create longer streams the ability to schedule adverts. So when you upload, for instance, your content, you automatically say, well, we're going to need 1.5 minutes of adverts in this somewhere. And it gives the content creator the ability to insert adverts at a clean break. A lot of the advertising that I've been seeing on YouTube recently has just been literally every 3 minutes in the middle of a sentence. Whereas if it was content creator controlled, they had to put adverts on, otherwise it wouldn't get published, and you've got to put the adverts on somewhere, then at least the content creator can make it as part of the actual content, and it's not going to break the content. And limit the amount of adverts. I mean, literally 20 minutes of adverts an hour I got yesterday for most of the day. Some content creators have disabled the new advertising algorithm and they just allow adverts at the beginning and at the end. Don't moan, YouTube, that people skip your adverts if you put a skip ad button on. If you need advertising revenue, get rid of the skip adverts button and just put your obligatory adverts at the beginning of the content so it doesn't break the content up. And please, don't let adverts run for more than a couple of minutes. Some adverts I've been seeing recently, over 45 minutes long. One was over 4 hours long for an advert. It's just not on. I'm sorry. My cat, young Caspi. I mean, 4 hours for an advert. If it's something you need certain people to see, put it on a YouTube channel. 4 hours is far too long for an advert. The longest an ad should be is, say, 2 minutes. And then it will take over an entire break. If you need more advertising than that, YouTube, you're doing something wrong with your modelling. The other big rant I've got is what YouTube are doing to content creators. Excuse me, let's just put the child down. Oh. Must put the child down. What YouTube are doing to content creators, giving them strikes for inappropriate content. From what I've seen, and David Wood's Act 17 Apologetics is typical of this, but not alone in this. He's getting strikes because I believe, because YouTube don't fully explain themselves, he's getting strikes because Muslims are becoming offended or are marking his videos as offensive because he's talking about the Quran and how ridiculous the Quran is. I will be doing my own video on the Quran shortly. Now I've got all my scheduling stuff set up. It's so easy. But YouTube can't have it both ways. They claim to the US government they're not a publisher, they're a platform, so they can't be sued for content. And yet, if they are a platform, they're censoring content as though they were a publisher. You need to decide, YouTube, are you a publisher or are you a platform? You cannot be both. If you're a platform, take down all these strikes. Remove them. You shouldn't be censoring on a platform. If there are things wrong, if people are offensive, there are formal channels outside of YouTube they can go through. YouTube should not be taking down channels, should not be striking channels, and should not be censoring content if they are truly just a platform. That's why YouTube and other so-called platforms do not get sued for the content that they broadcast. I was going to say publish, but that would confuse things. So if you are a publisher, make it clear and then stop getting exemptions from the content that you're publishing. If you're not a publisher, you should not be censoring any content. If it's offensive, there's laws against that. Legal action will be pursuant by those. But just because a few people of a certain religion find certain content offensive, you should not be striking content creators at all, unless it's copyright breach. Copyright, you need to. That's not censoring. It's not infringing any rights. It's not infringing civil liberties, and it's not infringing the Constitution, which censoring content does do. All those things. So that's adverts and censorship dealt with. Other than that, YouTube is a pretty good platform. I'm just getting I am looking at moving to other platforms because I'm fed up with the way that YouTube are behaving towards content creation and advertising. And seriously, YouTube has lost its way. And unless YouTube make drastic changes, I would recommend people start looking for other platforms to go on. Seriously, I mean, YouTube has a virtual monopoly, but it isn't the only service provider out there. I would gladly pay to upload my channel to another service if that service was literally just a publication service and it had no censorship whatsoever. The advertising, I was considering on YouTube going to YouTube Premium recently until they started throwing all these ads at you. Because it just comes across as though, well, if we throw enough ads, then people go over to YouTube Premium. It's like the moral tale about the sun and the wind. You can't force people to go on to Premium. You can force people off your channel, off your service, but you can't force them to go to Premium by bombarding them with adverts. Anyway, I'm repeating myself now. So thank you for watching this first episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like, share and subscribe. And I hope to see you again very soon.